It is election day in Western Australia. Polling booths have just opened across the state for the election in what could be a crucial test for Peter Dutton and Anthony Albanese when it comes to their federal prospects. We have reporters on both campaign trails. First to Kiara Hain. Kiara, you are in the Premier's electorate. What have you heard from voters this morning?
Good morning, Laura. Well, that's right. We've been speaking to voters here in Kwinana this morning about the issues that matter to them and their local community. Now, Kwinana is south of the city. It's about 40 minutes south, and it is the Premier's electorate. He will be here shortly to cast his vote. Now, the vibes out here have been great since we arrived. There was a long line of people waiting to cast their vote, but before we even got here, maybe 10, 15, 20 people lining up to cast their vote. Over 500,000 West Australians have already cast their vote early in the 2 weeks prior to today. But for those who haven't, today is the big day. And PNC, this is a primary school, so PNC is here and they've organised a great sausage sizzle, a democracy sausage, if you will. They've also organised a bunch of sweet treats, cupcakes to donate to the school, and that's creating a great vibe. They've had music pumping. So it's a great vibe out here for the Premier to arrive. And I spoke to some of those voters a short time ago about the issues that matter in Kwinana.
Cost of living.
Yeah?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's gone up. I don't live here, I live in Thailand because it's cheaper to live. You can't live in Australia. It's terrible.
Police matter is one of them, our crime rate, our safety.
I think the support to local community, our local schools, is where my passion lies for the kids. Having better playgrounds in schools, having more support for the teachers as well as hospitals. I think I'm really passionate about seeing more funding going into hospitals.
Now, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was expected to be here yesterday and today to support Premier Roger Cook on the campaign trail and on election day, but of course, due to the cyclone, he will remain over east, of course, but he has issued a word of support for the Premier this morning.
I obviously wish my friend Roger Cook all the very best today, but my focus today is solely on this event. I spoke with Premier Cook earlier this week. I wished him well. I had intended to be with him yesterday. We had a joint media conference planned and events. I was planning to be there this morning as well.
Now, the Premier will be here shortly to cast his vote, and we'll bring that back to you live, and he'll make some comments to media as well after that, and I'll bring that to you, Laura.
Thanks so much. Let's go to Crystal Wu. She is in Churchlands in Perth's inner northern suburbs. This is WA's most marginal seat. So what are voters telling you there?
That's right, Laura. Churchlands in Perth's inner northern suburbs. It's an affluent suburb, won surprisingly by Labor in 2021 by just a slim margin. Now the Liberals are hoping to regain this seat, and it is one of their best chances. Basil Zemplis is the Liberal candidate. He is a media personality and Perth's Lord Mayor, so he is well known. He's up against Labor's Christine Tonkin and Teal candidate Lisa Thornton. Now, if he wins, that doesn't make much of a difference to the WA Parliament. All signs are pointing to another Labor victory, but the candidates are confident that if the Liberals win more seats, that there will be a stronger voice in Parliament. If the Liberals gain more seats, what does this mean for WA?
I don't think it means much at all. They'll get a few more seats probably, and I don't think it'll alter anything in WA, not for the next 4 years.
It'll put some pressure on the big parties to make some changes. They're both very centrist, so we'd love to see them actually stand up for the issues that we care about instead of just trying to win votes.
Love him or hate him, Basil Zemplis is a well-known figure. Some say they are impressed by the amount of attention he can get from the media, from members of the public, but others say he is a polarising figure.
I'm a big fan of Basil Zemplis. He did an amazing thing with the lake down at Jackadder. The water was getting really low and the pelicans were eating all of the baby tortoises. Within an hour, he had the media there and the water was turned back on and we were getting water back into the lake and, you know, the tortoises are now safe. So do you put someone who has that influence in power as well that, you know, can pull the media?
I don't think a lot needs to change. I'm quite happy, but I'm disturbed by the fact that Basil's got big money behind him. He hasn't been interested in in the district until now.
Now, another candidate to keep an eye out on is Teal independent Lisa Thornton. Now, some of the people involved in the successful campaign of federal Teal independent Kate Chaney for the seat of Curtin, they're now backing Lisa Thornton. And it was interesting speaking to some people on the road this week. Climate change and environment were their main priorities.
Well, yeah, I am affected by a lot of those issues, especially living crisis, trying to get into the rental market. But I think really it's the environment that really pushes me over on my decision.
Things like climate change, cost of living, those things are going to impact everybody. So for me, that's what really matters. The big parties are just avoiding those issues and deflecting from them, and the minor parties are doing a great job bringing people's focus to those.
So, Laura, the Liberals' priority is just to gain back some of their most marginal seats, and the result could be a wider impact for the federal election. Of course, Mark McGowan's infamous win in the 2021 state election, where the Labor won 53 seats out of 59. That drove Anthony Albanese to a federal election victory. But if the Liberals gain more seats here at the state election, that could drive Peter Dutton to a more successful campaign over here in Western Australia when Anthony Albanese calls the federal election date.